What's going on, boys and girls? This is your boy Jason here, and in today's video we're going to talk about the investment of the first 10%. This is going to be very powerful because it shows you how you can take this 10% to invest in yourself and really see a large return on that based on certain principles that I'm going to show you through this book that I've been reading. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, so this video is going to probably affect you guys, rub you guys the wrong way just a little bit because, and I may be wrong, I hope I am, but every time I talk about investing the first 10%, people get all weird about it, you know, and it's interesting because by now you should know that in order to establish a successful online business or just a business in general, you do have to realize that it is either going to take an investment of your time to make things work, or it's going to take an investment of upfront capital, aka money, to make that money back in profit. So you already know this, and I'm sure it was a hard pill to swallow in the beginning. But by now, you've pretty much accepted it as fact that it's going to take upfront capital or your time to make it work. Some of you reason, well, there's less risk with your time, and therefore many of you jumped on the bandwagon of the 9-to-5, or you're hustling your butt off to make your business work using your time, and it's going to require a lot from you to get that going. Not that you can't get it going, but you know, it's going to take, you know, you're one person. Money can expedite things because it uses multiple sources, whereas you are just one person and you could only do so much, and there's only so many hours of the day. So yeah, it would require, at least you understand that it requires either time or money. Now, when I talk about the first 10%, investing that first 10%, a lot of people cringe, and this even goes to my roots as a Christian. And you know, this video is not specifically meant for Christians. This is for everyone. But with Christians, we have something called the tithe, which is the first 10% of your earnings has to go towards, you know, the church that you are a member of in reverence to God the Father, the God that we serve. Now, I'm not getting into theology here, but I'm just letting you know what we do. So an investment of the first 10% is a popular narrative. It is not something new. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to read from two sources. One, I am going to read a scripture from the Holy Bible, and this is not me preaching at you. This is just showing you, cementing what we believe. But then I'm also going to read a little excerpt from this book, which is The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. This was recommended to me by one of my mentors, and the moment he recommended it to me, I went out on Amazon and bought it. This is not spiritual or religious by any means. This is just a story from a man called Arcad, a story about a man called Arcad, who was known as the richest man in Babylon. And, you know, even the king wanted to know how he was able to acquire so much wealth. And he asked them to teach the people in Babylon how to obtain that same wealth. So he teaches a lot of principles that can help you even today to learn how to think and be wealthy. So I'm going to read an excerpt from this because he talks about the first 10% as well. And from his perspective, the first 10% is really about paying yourself. And what he emphasizes is that, you know, most people, when you get paid from your earnings, your money right away goes to all the people that you're in debt to, all the bills that you got to pay, and you have nothing left over. Or at least you worry that you have nothing left over. Most of us live on this paycheck to paycheck mentality. So there's an obvious first objection to wanting to pay the first 10% to yourself or to God in the church or whatever, because most people reason that they don't even have that first 10%. Like, giving 10% of your income as an investment to yourself or to a church or whatever will cut into your finances and you will have nothing left over. So even Arcad in here, when he first started to think positively about building wealth, he fought this concept too. And it wasn't until he started that he realized that after he first took the 10%, not even once you got paid, you pay all your bills, and then you take what's left over. No, he allocated the first of what came in from his finances, from his income, and set that aside, and then used the remainder to pay his debtors, debtors, whatever. What he realized after doing so for a while, he said that as he started to do this, he realized that he was no worse off. As in, when he started to allocate the first 10% and had the rest to pay the bills, he was still able to make it happen. He was still able to pay his bills just fine. So that fear that he had to invest in himself at first, to pay himself first, and that's the thing, we consider paying everyone else with our own money, but we always neglect to pay ourselves. And that's what he's getting at here. And when he started to be more consistent at it, he realized that, hey, wait a minute, I'm not in any worse shape by doing this, so why was I afraid of it to begin with? You know? And I felt the same way for the longest time. I am a consistent tither, and I do it from a religious perspective. But for the longest time, I fought the tithe off and on. I fought the first 10% vehemently, because I thought the exact same thing. I thought, I'm barely making it as it is. You know, how can I ever cut into my finances to pay this and all that? And there's many concepts in here, such as, well, if that's really the case, there's a lot of things you can cut. There's a lot of expenses that you know are not necessary. You can do without for at least a little while, until you build your income back up. And so I'm going to read an excerpt from this as well, and it just kind of cements what I'm saying here. So it starts with a quote. Let's see here. I'm going to start with... Okay, here we go. So Arcad, he's teaching students that want to know about generating wealth. He's teaching this, and so he's here speaking. So it starts with the class raising their hands. It says, "Many hands were raised, among them that of the merchant. Arcad mentioned to him to speak. As you suggested this approach, we should like to hear first from you." "I will gladly relate a tale," he resumed, "that doth illustrate how closely unto a man good luck may approach, and how blindly he may permit it to escape, much less to his loss and later regret. Many years ago, when I was a young man, just married and well started in earning, my father did come one day and urged me most strongly that I enter in an investment." Okay, investments are a big thing throughout this book and even through the Bible, so we'll get more into that. The son of one of his good friends had taken notice of a barren tract of land not far beyond the outer walls of our city. It lay high above the canal where no water could reach it. The son of my father's friend devised a plan to purchase this land, built 3 large water wheels that could be operated by oxen, and thereby raise the life-giving waters to the fertile soil. This accomplished, he planned to subdivide into small tracts and sell to the residents of the city for herb patches. The son of my father's friend did not possess sufficient gold to complete such an undertaking. Like myself, he was a young man earning a fair sum. His father, like mine, was a man of large family and small means. He therefore decided to interest a group of men to enter the enterprise with him. The group was to comprise 12, each of whom must be a money earner, and agree to pay 1/10. Here we go with that 1/10. This is the first 10% that we talk about. Agreed to pay 1/10 of his earnings into the enterprise until the land was made ready for sale. All would then share justly in the profits in proportion to their investment. "Thou, my son," bespoke my father unto me, "art now in thy young manhood. It is my deep desire that you begin the building of a valuable estate for myself, and thou mayest become respected among men. I desire to see thou profit from a knowledge of the thoughtless mistakes of thy father." "This do I mostly ardently desire, my father," I replied. Then this I do advise. Do what I should have done at thy age. From thy earnings keep out 1/10, we're hearing that again, to put into favorable investments. With this 1/10 of thy earnings and what it will also earn, thou canst, before thou at my age, accumulate for thyself a valuable estate. Before thou art my age, accumulate for, okay. Thy words are words of wisdom, my father. Greatly do I desire riches. Yet there are many uses to which my earnings are called. Therefore do I hesitate to do as thou dost advise. I am young, there is plenty of time. Which is something that many people say, I don't have to start taking this 10%. I don't have to start making an investment. I don't have to start doing a savings account because there's a lot of things that I really want and need right now. And I have the money to do it. And guess what? I'm young, so I got plenty of time. Yeah, while you have the money, you should start right away because, the pleasures of the now mean nothing when you don't have that money in the future, and you'll always have desires. So you may want something now, you're going to want something later, and you're going to be frustrated that you can't get that thing later. It's better to be in want now than to be in want later. Believe me on that. Let me continue. So I thought that at thy age, yet behold, many years have passed, and I have not yet made the beginning. That's from the father, and that's serious business. We live in a different age, my father. I shall avoid thy mistakes. Cockiness. Opportunity stands before thee, my son. It is offering a chance that may lead to wealth. I beg of thee, do not delay. Go upon the morrow to the son of my friend and bargain with him to pay 10% of thy earnings into this investment. Go promptly upon the morrow. Opportunity waits for no man. Today it is here, soon it is gone, therefore delay not. In spite of the advice of my father, I did hesitate. They were beautiful new robes just bought by the tradesmen from the east, robes of such richness and beauty, my good wife and I felt we must each possess one. Should I agree to pay 1/10 of my earnings into the enterprise, we must deprive ourselves of these and other pleasures we dearly desire. I delayed making a decision until it was too late, much to my subsequent regret. The enterprise did prove to be more profitable than any man had prophesied. This is my tale, showing how I did permit good luck to escape. All right, so I'm going to stop there and put my little bookmark in. So a lot to unpack from this story, or at least this segment of the story. And basically, the 10%, you have to consider it like an investment. It may not be the same in the sense that if I put, if I put a couple $100 here for paid advertising, I'm going to start building my email list, that kind of thing. It may not be that exactly, but segmenting the first 10%, it could go to that. Segmenting that first 10% could go to your marketing. It could go to any type of investment that you feel you're going to benefit from. Maybe you're trying to build an investment for the stock market or for, buying some land, some equity, those kinds of things. That is going to help you in the long term. That is your long-term plan, and that will carry you to your future when you get old. And so, in the story here, Arkad, he was being advised by his dad to invest in this, it looked like a real estate venture, basically. And he was being urged not to delay, to take advantage now while you're young. But Arkad's argument was, but Dad, I am young. I can afford to enjoy life a little and invest later on. What he realized was that, had he invested in that, like his dad said, he would have made a bundle right there. And you see, we think the short game too often. We think if I invest in if I've used my money, my hard-earned money, to entertain myself, to get things that I want now, I'm better off and I can always make that money later on. But if you have an opportunity to invest in yourself now, you can make way more money than you could before, and you can have those things that you want. It just requires that you delay gratification. and even just for a little while. And that's what most people don't want to do. They don't want to delay gratification because it's too overwhelming. We live in a consumerist society. We are being advertised to practically every second of the day through our phones, through Facebook, through everything. We are being advertised to, and we are told that we have to have these things, otherwise we are not validated. So many people have low willpower and low tolerance to consumerism. We always tout about the evils of consumerism, but yet we are the worst products of it. Think about that. Now, in the Bible, it's similar, and in fact, it kind of correlates with this in the sense of if you were to set aside the first 10% and put that into an investment, you will get way more back in return, just like it's mentioned in this book. In the Bible, in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 10, it says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have enough room for it. So, very similar idea. Obviously, it's in a different perspective. The tithe, in this case, is an investment into the things of God, and the money used here is meant to help with the development of or the needs of the churches at that time, and still to this day. You know, Christians, we give 10% to help. We give 10% to our churches to help build the resources, and the churches are meant to be more of a communal thing. They're meant to help with the homeless and feed the hungry and do all of these social things. And it helps to build the church, make it better, it gives it the right resources, like I said. And by doing so, by making an investment in this way, God promises that if you test him in this, he will bring a return to you much greater than what you've invested. So again, investment always yields a bigger result. And me being someone who have been tithing, and I used to vehemently be not against it, but I used to fight it all the time because just like many of you, I thought, hey, you know, I could barely afford, I think I already said this, I could barely afford what I'm doing right now. You know, why do you need my 10%? So I used to fight it back and forth all the time until I finally stopped, and I finally just caved in, and I've been a consistent tither for a while now. And I have to tell you, for my personal life, I have seen some absolute increase in my income. And I absolutely attribute it to the fact that I have become a faithful tither and follow the scriptures. I could go all day as to why that is, but I'll save that for another video. My point is that just like in the Bible and just like in the Richest Man in Babylon, they paint the concept that the first 10% set aside is meant to go as an investment and will yield a greater result back to you. So if you are in a position where you feel like, yeah, I'm trying to start this business, but I don't think I can because, you know, I could barely take money out of my income based on how much I owe, you know, that kind of stuff. Well, consider this. If you allocated the 10% first and then utilize the remainder for your bills, chances are you're going to be able to do it fine. You're going to be able to manage this fine. Now, if it is true that you do have a situation where even if you take the 10% off first, you absolutely do not have enough for your finances, well, take a look at your finances, because I'm sure that there are luxuries and things that you like and enjoy and feel like you've earned, and that's rightfully so, that you could cut back on and delay for just a little while. Now, I know that that's not fun. I know that that's not cool. But if you were to go this route and delay gratification for a little while, you will end up with much greater finances and be able to have what you currently have and more. But if you don't go this route, you will always be in want. You will always be in desire. You will always be in need. You will always look at the new flashy thing and think, man, I wish I could afford that, but I can't even afford what I'm doing right now. And you know what's interesting? We say this all the time, but yet somehow, some way, if we want something bad enough, we somehow miraculously make it work out, don't we? In some way, if we want that new iPhone or that new Samsung, we somehow can part the sea, as it were, and find the money, whether it's credit or whatever, to make it work. And we don't regret it, do we? So find something that you won't regret and invest in yourself. Take that first 10% and invest. So with that in mind, I hope that you got something from this. Let me know. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give this a thumbs up and let me know that you let the YouTube algorithm know that you appreciate this content. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can be notified when I post future videos. Last but not least, click that link in the description box below if you'd like to know how I'm making an online income using affiliate marketing and how you can get yourself set up in no time and use the concepts from this to create any business you actually want. So let me know and I'll be more than happy to guide you through that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. It's your boy Jason. Much love, God bless, and as always, you know how I do it, y'all. Peace!
I should make money for free. Yeah, that's how money works. Money for free. If I ain't got a boss, then it's not a legal way to make money. You gotta know that's true, right? You gotta have a boss that, okay. The only way to make money is by spending a crazy amount of time. If I'm not like slave or anything like that, okay. But okay, here we go. Nobody makes money from home. This COVID thing is just a fluke. We're gonna be in office again, and if you seriously want to help me, you should just give me money. That's how you can show me